Hey everyone, welcome to yet another playthrough video at Weekly Game Nights Shack, and today I will be playing Elden Ring, the board game Weeping Peninsula standalone expansion, one of 3 card boxes delivered to me by Steamforged Games. So, in this very video, I will be playing first 2 scenarios, which will cover all the game mechanics. First one is narrative, and the second one is exploration, ending in an encounter, which is combat. So you're gonna see all the aspects of the game in this video. We're gonna start with the narrative part, but if you want to skip this story and jump straight into the action, you can do it simply by going to the next chapter of this video. So we're gonna start with the character breakdown, and if you like what I do, please subscribe to Weekly Game Night channel, leave a like, and if you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. I will do my best to provide some nice answers. Thank you very much. I think we can begin. So let's start with the narrative scenario number 1. Alright, before we start the game, let's do a quick character breakdown. I've chosen Bandit. It's a new class available only in Weeping Peninsula standalone expansion. So that's the dude I will be playing with. And here is the player tableau. So what you need to know for now is that we are playing as a bandit. This is our profile card. Our starting health is 3, focus is also 3, and our hand, aka stamina, is 4. We are starting with great knife, buckler, and bandit leather armor. Our bandit has a special skill called poised. So in encounter, if I damage any enemy, I will be able to perform a free action, which is cool. We're gonna see how that goes. We also have a class quest. If the bandit has at least one of each type of material card in their inventory, this quest is completed. And then we're gonna draw another card, probably bandit quest number 2. This is how it goes. Then you draw another one, and unfold the story, or you will get to know the path of your character. We have 2 weapons and 1 armor, and the way the weapon work is each of them adds some cards to your combat deck, which we're gonna get to in a minute. You can upgrade this with runes. Our armor has some special ability. As you can see, once per encounter, this tarnished may perform a free move action. 2 initiative cards used in encounters. Our cool 3 dial tracking our health, focus, and stamina. And 2 decks. Combat deck consisting of different combat cards. I believe there are 4 types of these combat cards. These are only used in encounters. And attributes used for various tests in the game, but you will see how it works in the exploration scenario, probably. And pretty much that's all you need to know about our character for now. We're gonna use all of these cards and player dashboard in the exploration scenario, but right now we are playing first scenario, which is narrative, kind of paragraph book. We're gonna go from one paragraph to the other, making some choices. So if you would like to see more action, you can skip to the next chapter of this video. The next chapter is the exploration scenario, scenario number 2. But for now, we're gonna focus on Stranded Graveyard.
At first, all is darkness. Not night, but an abyss made by the total absence of illumination. Trepidation, fear even, might stain your senses, were it not that within this void, such concepts were unknown. Then, at once, the darkness is banished, as golden light reaches towards you through the inky blackness, resting your attention. You arise to answer the enigmatic summon. Path of the righteous at the start of this scenario. Place 3 objective tokens to the side of the playing area. If one or more of these tokens remain at the end of the scenario, retrieve card 079 from the vault and shuffle it into the hardship deck.
Okay, so we have 3 tokens over here. And the concept of Vault and Armory. There are cards called Vault and Armory, like big stacks of cards. Let me show it to you. This is the Vault. And whenever we need to find a new card that is not available at this moment, we're gonna reach to this Vault or Armory and search for it. This way, we're gonna improve our hero, get to know new locations in this world, Weeping Peninsula. So I'm really eager to see how that works. Okay, let's continue.
Sound is the first to return. A gentle echo. The sound of air moving sluggishly through an enclosed space, strangely lonely and foreboding. The same air, cold and indifferent, tickles where your skin is bared, brushing over your fingertips and across your face. For a moment, you are content to listen and feel. Listen to the world around you, without movement or intention. Feel weight and presence return to your body once more. Then, you remember the call. You open your eyes. For a moment, you are blinded, encased in new light, and forced them closed once more. Bright stars seared across your vision. Only when they abate do you cautiously try again. You're lying on the ground in the middle of a wide and high-ceilinged cavern, on a bed made of unforgiving stone and dry, cracked dirt. Stone walls surround you in all but one direction. But far before the other walls meet is a root-covered pit. Opposite, you spy a tall stone archway at the cavern's far end. The pale gray stone stands at odds with the earthy tone painted across the rest of the cavern. The scene is bathed in bright gold by a curious tree, emanating light into your surroundings. The sight fascinates you, pulling you unconsciously to your feet, its magnetic pull drawing you closer. It's only as you feel the ground below starting to shift that you realize you're standing at the edge of a large hole in the ground, another cavern below, into which you now risk falling.
Okay, if you are content to slide into the cavern below, read narrative entry 3. If you would prepare to try and climb back up, read narrative entry 07. We are here for some fun, so let's read number 3.
You manage to snag a thick root in one hand and use that as purchase to shift your weight a little. It tears free as you're moving, but at least by then you're on firmer soil. It's still cascading unstoppably downwards, but by lowering yourself as much as you can and using your boots and hands to arrest the rate at which you're falling, you manage to control the drop almost the entire way down. After a nervous few minutes, you eventually steer yourself to a hard but relatively painless landing amongst a pile of dirty sand.
We're in read narrative entry 11. 11, okay. Ew, long one.
This new chamber would be better described as a pit. Dust and grime cover the barren ground, only broken by a light sprinkling of sand fallen from above. Steep walls surround you on all sides, with no purchase to permit climbing back out. The only way out appears to be a cave mouth to your sight, which you can see quickly fades downwards into gloom. You offer one final look upwards at whence you came, and then, resigned to the darkness once more, proceed. Feeling the wall with your hands so as not to lose your way, you sense the tunnel you're in, turn left after a short distance, and then a few minutes later, begin to curve right once more. If you're not mistaken, the ground is beginning to slope upwards as you follow it around. One final turn, and your persistence is rewarded by light ahead. Pale and ghostly, it casts the tunnel in eerie contrast to the warmth from above. But you'll gladly take this cold illumination over the pitch black you've been within for the last few minutes. Several paces later, you emerge into a chamber, naturally formed into a sort of circle, the middle occupied by a large pillar of stone from ceiling to floor. Luminescent fungus creeps over the walls, the source of your newfound visibility. Glancing around, you see there's little here. Opposite the cave mouth you've just emerged from is another tunnel, framed by a crack in the ceiling, which has permitted water to trail downwards. A rich patch of moss has begun to grow in its wake, likely the source of the fungus and damp scent in the air. As you circumnavigate the pillar, you see that your earlier assessment wasn't quite right. An aged corpse lies on the ground, a knight still clad in rusted armor. He strikes a pitiful figure, face down, one hand reaching for the light in futility.
Okay, if you would like to look the knight, read narrative entry 04 and ignore the corpse and press on narrative entry 08. I want to loot the knight. 04.
It's the work of but moments to realize that you won't find anything of use here, not even a rune. The figure has clearly been dead for long enough that his clothes have decayed, and the metal of his weapons and armor is spoiled with brown crust. Feeling ashamed of both your nefarious intent and your stupidity for not observing the obvious, you rise to your feet and march through the tunnel. Initially, your concern grows as you once more head into darkness, but that worry is dispelled as the passage curves around, and your eyes detect a familiar umber glow cast over the rocky walls. With each step, it grows brighter, until eventually you emerge into a wide underground cavern. The murky brown soil, staining the rocks, feels oddly familiar, and you soon realize that once more, you find yourself in the catacombs you awoke in, this time high atop a ledge above where you first entered the space. Another corpse lies on the ground ahead of you, half hanging off the ledge, and with one arm pointing towards the back of the cavern. Looking in that direction from your vantage point, you can see the huge stone archway, bathed in bright gold by the illusory tree from before. You're closer now, and can feel a strange pull from the mysterious, welcoming warmth under your skin. It's certainly as good a direction of travel as any other, and the only remaining way out besides. There doesn't seem to be an obvious way down at first, although a little patience soon finds a series of handholds and ledges that should suffice in bringing you back to ground level. Sadly, they stop short of the enigmatic sapling and its magnetic pull. From here, you can better see the tree will be inaccessible to you, buried as it is by collapsed masonry that looks like it might slip and crush you at any moment. Fortunately, the stone arch seems far more stable, built into a robust brick and stonework wall that shows little sign of the years it's been witness to. A set of crooked steps leads up to the doorway, flanked either side by a pair of statues, each depicting a penitent figure. You advance between them, weapon ready. But there is little sign of adversaries in this place. Your only companion is the grave wind that tickles the hair on your neck, billowing softly between the crack in the doors ahead. Still cautious, you pause upon reaching the doors, waiting to see if signs of enemies present themselves, but see nothing to concern you, and step across the threshold and into the chamber beyond. Unnatural light awaits you, pale and otherworldly, gently emanating from a steadily burning blue torch, lit by some conjurer's trickery. It reveals a small antechamber that might once have been a reception of sorts, a set of stairs set into the opposite wall leading upwards. Broken pieces of furniture, barrels, and crates occupy each corner, all covered in thick cobwebs, ensnaring the light amongst their frail threads. None seem of interest, except for an uncovered stone sarcophagus near to the stairs, the light unable to reveal the contents from where you stand.
If you want to investigate the sarcophagus, read entry number 1. If you would prefer to give it a white bird and head upstairs, read narrative entry 05. Okay, let's go with 01.
Your mind plays tricks on you as you peer into the depths of the ancient coffin, expecting a skeletal hand to thrust its way upwards, to claw at you at any second. After long moments of searching, pushing the figure inside cautiously, no such event occurs, but alas, nor do you find any hint of ancient keepsake or material that might be useful to you.
Discard an objective token from the side of your playing area. I think it's good. Read narrative entry 05.
A larger rectangular room awaits at the top of the short stairs, with a high vaulted ceiling. You might almost call this a function room, were it not for the presence of more sarcophagi, and what look like votive candlesticks and urns lined up against the walls. Some of the latter have broken, their contents apparently dusty sand, spilled all over the ground. The room's center walkway is recessed, and halfway down a slither of golden light emerges from a crack in the brickwork. It hangs in the air like an unanchored flame, uncaring of nature's restrictions. Instinctively, you seem to find familiarity in this strange sight, and your mind races as you try to locate the right name or word for it. Grace. That's what you eventually choose. It doesn't feel quite right, but it's the closest you can find. Saying the word out loud seems to cement for you that you've chosen correctly. And as you reach out and touch it, a feeling of warmth, similar to that you sensed from the tree below, flows through you. There's little else here of interest, beyond a dusty statue of a grotesque imp, fanged maw hidden under a thick layer of grime.
Narrative entry 2. If you would like to open one of the sarcophagi 09, if you would prefer to keep moving and live through the archway at the far end of the room, read narrative entry 010. Let's wipe down the statue.
As you wipe away the years of neglect, the statue leers at you in a most discomfiting way, as though it were alive and about to bite. You're sure you can hear it growling at you somehow, barely perceptible at the edge of the silence surrounding you. Eventually, you finish, feeling a little ashamed of letting your imagination run wild. There doesn't appear to be anything of interest in the statue after all, despite you waving your hand over it and searching for a hidden pressure switch or lever. Aware that you're wasting time, you leave through the archway at the far end of the room. In stark contrast to the previous two chambers, the walls in this new space are round like a turret, with several small arches set into them. There's no obvious exit, and you find yourself walking the circumference of the room, hand trailing over the stonework, in search of a hidden switch to open one of the arches, allowing you to proceed. If such a mechanism does exist, you can't find it, and instead, turn your attention to the center of the room, where 6 pillars stand atop a small dais. The pillars have been carefully wrought, creating a sort of arched bridge across them, matching the style of the other decoration you've seen in this place. Very artistic, but unhelpful towards your desire to progress. Thoughts of craftsmanship are banished as you step on the central plinth, and a loud clicking sound reaches your ears. followed by a grinding noise that puts you in mind of chalky stone. Suddenly, the dais and you standing atop it are moving upwards at pace. It's all you can do to keep your footing as the brickwork rushes past in a blur and the strange contrivance launches into the gloom above. Thankfully, it comes to a stop a few moments later, leaving your stomach lurching, but otherwise no worse for wear. You're once again in a cylindrical room, but this time the doors ahead tease an altogether different light, daylight. Your breath catches as you emerge from your entombment underground and witness the world once more. Suddenly, given license to run, each of your senses is overloaded, and for a moment, it's all you can do to blink away the blindness accosting your vision and try to stop your head from spinning from the wealth of smells and sounds. A colossal tree towers over the world, ethereal and wreathed in gold, illuminating the landscape from the skies above as an enigmatic summons breaking through the overcast clouds. For a long moment, you can only stare in silent wonderment, trying to comprehend the sight and its meaning. Your only companion, a low wind, brushing over the stones and grass on the ground. Eventually, although not without almost painful reluctance, you manage to tear your eyes free to survey your immediate surroundings. In front of you is a wide open space, half overgrown grass, half dry and cracked dirt, broken only by simple shrubbery. It stretches on for a short distance, before seeming to drop away entirely, as the gradient changes and leads downwards. Beyond that, the horizon is dominated by the shapes of a castle. Spires and arches compete with one another, a gate to the vague impression of mist-covered regions beyond. These, then, are the lands between.
The scenario has been completed. Retrieve card 001 from the vault as per Path of the Righteous special rule. If there are one or more objective tokens remaining, there are two, retrieve card 033 from the vault and shuffle it into the hardship deck. Not good. Not good. Okay, so the vault, card 01. Okay, that was something predictable. And 32. I'm gonna show it to you in a minute. That's the card 01, Weeping Peninsula Exploration. Turn to page 10 of the scenario book to begin. So we got ourselves another scenario card that we can begin with. And we got some hardship cards that might be used in the exploration part of the game. Okay, that's it. I didn't manage to get rid of all the objective tokens. Well, it is what it is. Now we can skip to the exploration part of the game. I think much more interesting than the narrative part. I mean, the story is written really nice. A lot of words that I don't usually use or read. So I like the style, I like the story, but we need to actually play the game. Okay, let's do it. Okay, it's time for the second scenario. Actually, it's the first exploration scenario called First Steps. So we are out in the lands between. And I have already did the setup, but I will show it to you. So in this scenario, we're gonna have 3 quests that we need to complete. And if we do, it's gonna end with an encounter, which is combat. And I'm playing with single character, but in this scenario, all characters would fight individually. Okay, if a tarnish is defeated, then we might try again, or if this scenario is completed, we will get 10 runes and retrieve cards 02, 33 and 34. Okay, so all is set for the exploration scenario. So we are starting on this starting tile, with our miniature over here. We have set of tiles that we're gonna uncover as we explore the area. There are 2 decks of cards, but we are not considering any events on them. These are the special rules of this scenario. Currently it's day. If at any point we would run out of the cards, then we lose the scenario. What's next? Bunch of tokens we might need and decks of cards. And the 3 objectives. If we're gonna complete them, then we're gonna move to the encounter part and win the game. So let's see them. The first one is place an objective token on this card each time a tarnished resolves a hardship. If there are 3 tokens on this card, the quest is completed. Nice and easy. The second one is Resource Hunt. Place an objective token on this card each time a tarnished draws 1 or more material cards. If there are 5 or more tokens on this card, this quest is completed. And finally, the third objective is Honoring the Goddess. Place an objective token on this card each time a tarnished interacts with a stake of Marika. If there are 2 tokens on this card, this quest is completed. Okay, so we're gonna move around, explore a bit, gather some materials, overcome some hardship, and what else? And interact with Stake of Marika, basically to get a feel of what exploration in this game is all about. What you need to know is that in each turn there are 3 actions that our tarnished, the bandit in this case, can perform, and these actions are move, exploration, crafting, but we don't have any recipes just yet. We can also interact with locations on these tiles, trade if we meet merchant, and using our flask to recover stamina or health. On our starting tile, there is this token on its active side. That token is basically our resting place. It's called Site of Grace. If we get there and interact with this token, we're gonna reset our values of health, stamina, and focus to the initial starting values. Okay, I think we can begin. 3 actions. So, of course, the first one will be to explore. So let's see what we have here. Okay, we have some nice tile. I really like the style of these map tiles. So we're gonna place 2 tokens over here. First one is Flora and the second one is our portal. So that was the first action, exploration. The second action is moving over here, and the third action will be interact with the Flora token. And when we interact with the Flora token, then we get rid of that and we're gonna draw a Flora card. And we got ourselves some herbs. Nice. And that's it. The first round, my first turn ends. And as I'm playing alone, then I also need to draw a card. I mean, you always get to draw this card, but as I'm playing alone, I will be doing it more often. So time passes, nothing happens, that's it. We are still in the day phase. So the second action, the teleport, how it works. If you interact with this location, you can move on to any tile. So we're gonna explore some more, of course. We found ourselves some forest. Let's add it over here and add a hardship token over here. And of course we want to move with our... Oh, and Flora is over here as well. Ooh, nice. And of course we want to move here with our second action. And when we do, immediately we have to resolve the hardship card. So let's draw 1 hardship card. These cards are divided into 2 two halves, one for the day and one for the night. So we need to overcome this hardship, but it's gonna be very difficult because we need to generate ourselves. Challenge is level 5, so we need 3 attributes which are multiplied by 4, 2, and 1 respectively. So let's draw 2 attribute cards. So first one is common, and the second one is common. And that means that we have failed this hardship, and we're gonna suffer 1 damage. That's it. So we're gonna suffer 1 damage. That card is removed, and this goes to our attribute discard deck. Not the best start. Not the best start. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that hardship over here. And now we're gonna interact with this flora card. And we got ourselves a mushroom. Oh, and by the way, place an objective token on this card each time a tarnish resolves a hardship. So it doesn't matter if I failed or not. So first let me place token over here because that hardship was resolved. And next we're gonna place 2 objective tokens over here because we have already collected 2 flora cards. Okay, that's nice. So that was my third action. Now we're gonna draw from this weather deck. Time passes, nothing happens. And next, let's explore more. So, something new. I probably should have mentioned that if there are edges on tiles, we cannot move through them, and we need to connect open edge of the tile to open edge of the next tile that we are placing. Okay, so now we're gonna find 2 tokens, ruins and hardship once again. So exploration was the first action, now the hardship. Maybe this time we'll be more lucky. So a foe appears, we need legs and come on. It shouldn't be that hard. Okay, we have 2 common symbols and we have 1 leg, so the level is 4. And we've passed that. That's nice because 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. So we have passed that test and that hardship is resolved. And we don't suffer the damage, which is nice. Okay. So we're gonna get rid of that. Or we can simply leave it here. The board will look better, but on its inactive side. Okay, so second action was movement. Third action will be interacting with ruins. So let's see that. Poison Bloom, that's the third material. I need objective token. Okay, so I need actually here. So I need 5 of these, 3 of these, and 2 of these. We're getting there. Turn ends. Explore weather card. Nothing happens. And once again, we're gonna explore some more. And we can only place tile adjacent to our hero. So we're gonna place it over here. And now we found our third hardship, which is here. And we got ourselves... Oh, where is that token? The token is here. We got ourselves Stake of Marika. How it works? Let's see. First, we are moving here. Hardship card. Once again, the same card. Oh no, not the same card. we are looking for other attributes. So we have head 4 and common 1. Okay, so we are drawing 2 cards again. Legs, not good, but this can go to common pile. No, not this time. The challenge level was 4, so we suffer 1 damage. And we are left with 1 life. In exploration scenarios, you can lose the game as well if your health, maybe not lose the game, but lose the scenario, and when your health runs down to 0. And what they did here is that even when you lose the scenario, you still move forward with the campaign, which is something that I appreciate. I don't like to replay the games. I don't have time for that. So yeah, that's it. So third hardship was resolved. And I'm gonna place this token over here, and we have completed our first quest. So let's cover the name of the quest. And now, with my third action, I want to use my flask and restore my health, because we were barely standing. Okay, so 3. Next round, drawing a card. Time passes, nothing happens over here. So, once again, explore. Oh no, it's not. Okay, let's explore. Nice. Another card that we needed. Another tile that we needed. So now we can interact with this Stake of Marika token. And when we do, we simply get one of these cards to our decks, and this is our life insurance to our inventory. This is our life insurance, because when we die, we can use this card to rise again and fight. So yeah, pretty useful stuff. So I got that one. Exploration was my second action. Oh, we should probably get rid of that token. Exploration was my second action. And the third action, I will use movement. Now I can resolve the hardship. Oh, something easier, because those 2 previous were harder. Only we're looking for our torso attribute. We got double, and the level is 3, so we would need 3. This is not easier. Oh, so we failed again. Discard a Stake of Marika card. Oh, not nice. Not nice. That didn't take long for me to be happy that I have this card. Anyway. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to place an objective token. Where are some objective tokens? Okay, over here, because I got the first one. Okay, so that was the last action movement. Next, we're gonna draw a card. Nothing happens. And we interact with this to get ourselves our State of Marika card again, and completing that second objective. We are almost there. We just need to explore a little bit more to find us other materials. So the second action will be just that. We're gonna explore. Nice. Flora and Spirit Spring. The teleport I've mentioned before. So Flora and Spirit Spring, where is that? Ooh, did I put it somewhere? Oh, it's here. It's here. Okay, so second action and third action, we are moving there. Draw a card. Time passes. Once again, interact with flora. So we're gonna get something new. This time it's mushroom. Second mushroom. Nice to have. Of course, these material cards are later used for recipes, eventually crafting something useful. Okay, so that's that. And third action. Third action will be exploration once again, because we need to find exactly that. Exactly that. Hardship. Hardships are difficult. Okay. Let's draw a card. And this card is very interesting because nothing happens in this scenario because we are not considering the effects of the cards, but normally it would flip to a knight, and then we only have half of the time left for the exploration scenario. But not in this case. Okay, so new day, we're gonna move here, resolve hardship again. Oh, heavy mist, what is that? Until the start of this tarnished next turn, tarnished can ignore hardship tokens when moving onto tiles. This tarnished passes this hardship at the start of their next turn. So if we passed, but at the start of their next turn. Okay, so I assume it's something that would stay with me, but I can still explore, I can still interact and get another flora card. Another flora card. This time is arterial leaf, something new. And this way we've got ourselves final fifth. Actually, there should be 5. So final fifth. Objective token, and we have completed all the 3 quests. As you can see, it was pretty simple because it's the introduction to the game. But we did a little bit of gathering materials, a little bit of completing the quest, a little bit of failing at hardships. But yeah, it is what it is. We are left with 1 tile, but we didn't use it. It's perfectly fine. And now we're gonna move to the encounter, so we're gonna see how the combat works in this game. Finally, it's time for the long-awaited first encounter. So what do we have here is the encounter board, our battlefield, divided into lanes and vertical lines. So the way it works is that when we are choosing our target, we are only caring about the lanes in which the targets are. Horizontal lines, on the other hand, are for our stance. They represent our stance. So we have critical hit, reposition, stand fast. Basically, critical hit allows us to draw 2 attributes cards when attacking. Repositioning allows us to manipulate the marching order, and stand fast allows us to draw more attribute cards when defending. Our enemies also have these lines, critical hit in this case, and when they will be standing here, it's actually working in our favor because we're gonna draw 1 more attribute card, but it's not the case yet. Okay, enemies have been placed according to the setup of this encounter. Above the encounter board, you will find marching order. These are initiative cards that were drawn before the combat. And from left to right in that order, we're gonna resolve the cards. So Rotten Stray will go first, then me, and then Misbegotten. Okay. What else? What else? Probably worth noting is that these cards have these letters A and H, and each card is different. And if we would have 2 guys of the same kind on the board, then we would use some tokens to to show their letter so we know which one is which, because they have different cards and different actions on them. Damage tokens are over here, and here is our player dashboard. You already know that, but I have drawn 4 cards, my 4 combat cards, and you're gonna see how they work in a minute. And my health and focus is full, and also I have restored my health potion. I could do that in the exploration scenario if I wouldn't, push to, finish the final quest. Simply go to place with this token and restore my energy and flask, and I pretended I did that. Cheating. Okay, anyways. The way the combat works is kind of similar. On your turn, you have 3 actions as an player, but they work a little bit different. So let's just, resolve their action, starting with Rotten Stray. So that dead cat is either attacking or moving one lane left or right. And as there is no target in this lane, as you can see, it's harder for them to attack when there is only one hero. That cat will move over here and resolve their next action. And the next action is attack first tarnished in this lane for 2 damage. Okay, so that's it. That's 2 damage. And now I can defend myself. And do I want to do this? Probably I do, because I have this fend off card, and the way it works is that I will play this card over here, and I will draw 1 attribute card, and also I will get to draw 1 combat card. So 1 combat card, but 1 attribute card, and I need common attribute, which you can see I got. So I get 1 defense. Okay, this goes to my discard, this as well, and I got 1 defense, so I'm dealt not 2 but 1 hit. Still, it's not like I'm I can endure a lot. Only 2 health points left. And that's it. Now it's our turn. On our turn we have 3 actions, similar as it was with the exploration phase, which I love. When they do this kind of stuff that you don't have to remember, every single time how many actions you can perform. Still, it's 3. And we can play a card, we can move, we can discard a card for lighter attack. We can also summon some spiritual animals, but we didn't met them yet. So that's that. Of course, we can use our flask or other consumables if we would have these, and we can also draw up to our hand limit. So these are the actions available to us, but we are standing at the critical hit, and I don't want this misbegotten to actually act. So my first action will be to move over here. Second action will be to use my special deft card and place it in this buff slot. So deft card is this tarnished's next action is a free action, then discard this card. It cost me 1 focus. It costs me 1 focus. So there you go, 1 focus. And now, why did I do it? Well, because we have this funny card called Backstep. Was it a Backstep? Yes, it was a Backstep. Okay, called Backstep. So we're gonna place Backstep, and well, it has a special ability. If played as a free action, increase this damage to 3. And the way our attack works is pretty much as it was with Hardship in a way. So we're gonna draw 1 attribute card, but as we are standing in this critical row, we're gonna actually draw 2 attributes cards. So that's the first one, and let me shuffle the discard, and that's the second one. Okay. And as it's played as a free action, we're gonna discard Deft to discards over here to boost our backstep action. Cool, huh? So we've got ourselves actually 2 legs. I call them, you know, by the body part. 2 legs and 1 common. And if played as a free action, increase this damage to 3. So it's 3 plus 3 plus 1. Because we can use these symbols multiple times. So if we generated 3 attributes, we count them all together. It's 7. It's 7. It was a mighty attack. And the misbegotten health is 3. No armor. So that dude is off. And let me do this and this. So that dude is off, and we are left with the stray cat and 1 action left. But actually we can deal with this cat in this very round, because I will use my bandit leather armor. Once per encounter, this tarnished may perform a free move action. So let's move over here. Hello. And let's turn this over. So that's 1. Free action. I still have 1 action left, because just to make sure, my first action was movement, then playing a buff card. With the buff card I've had a free attack, now I have a free movement, and my final action is attack. And to attack I will also use backstab for health. Yeah, probably. Let's see if I'm lucky. Probably not that lucky, because 2 of these cards were already used. What's the other attack? Retreating strike. After resolving this attack, this tarnished may spend 1 to move. 1 focus to move. Torso, common. Now I will go for the backstab. So once again, critical hit. 1. What's that? Oh, hardship card. How did it get here? Okay, anyway, I will use 1. Oh, whoa, that's some heavy beating from the bandit. Actually, I thought it's gonna be a little bit harder, because, you know, I'm playing with bandit, not some tank or, you know, some barbarian or whatever. But it's very effective bandit. So 2 torso means that we dealt 2 damage plus 3 damage coming from this like symbol attribute over here. Overall, it's oh, actually not. It's 3 damage because it wasn't a free action. But listen up. The thing I can do is I can actually, and this is interesting how this game works, because I could actually draw up to my hand limit with my, remember, final action. So let's do that. And my bandit has this very useful skill called Poised. When this tarnished has no actions remaining, if they have damaged an enemy this turn, they may perform a free action. So there you go, my attack is a free action, and now my legs count as 3 damage, plus 2, it's 5, I needed 4, so there you go. Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure to meet you. Sadly, the meeting was fast, sadly for you, but we have won the scenario. So let's find out what is the outcome of that scenario. Yay! Okay, so if this scenario is completed, each tarnished gains 10 runes, then retrieve cards 2, 3, 33 and 34 from the vault. So let's see those cards. Cards 2. So of course that's Breach of Sacrifice, another scenario. So when we're gonna finish one scenario, we're gonna unlock the next one. That's pretty simple. Probably we can have more scenarios to choose from later on. So okay, now card 33, Lone Wolf Ashes, and another 34 Lone Wolf Ashes. This is cool because these lone wolves Actually, we can summon them before the combat, especially when we are fighting alone. They are useful. And they will act as our support. So yeah, cool cards. That's it. Regarding the combat, it was really fast. I don't know if I have drawn, some kind of good combos or what, but what is cool about those enemies is that there is way more skills with different enemies. So they have different cards, more sophisticated, with more actions, like you can see over here. For example, attack for 4, then move left or right, then again attack one of the tarnished in the one of 3 lanes, and then for 4. So for example that, but there are more powerful cards even. Okay, attack for 6, that's cool. The thing is that this game scales with the encounters, so you don't always get to draw the same cards, hence the letters, because simply probably higher letters, farther in the alphabet, are more powerful. So in this case we have something very cool over here. So we have jump attack, and the way it works is that monster is attacking every single hero in the lane. So you don't want to stand in a row in a single lane, right? Okay, so plenty of that. But even cooler is that we can upgrade our own attack decks with cards. Whenever we switch weapons, we get rid of the old cards, put the new cards into the deck, of course shuffle, and we get ourselves a new deck. We can strengthen our attributes deck as well. We have slot for talisman, for some traits. So yeah, there are plenty of ways to develop our hero. What else I wanted to mention? Probably that if you like this video, then let me know in the comments, how do you like this game, how do you like the video. If you want to see something more from the world of Elden Ring, then let me know. I can prepare another video with some more sophisticated enemies, for example boss fight or something like that. Okay, I like the game, I like the scenarios, the first scenarios, and I think they are showing potential, that this game has a potential. Well, we'll see how it's gonna unfold, because with campaign games, it's really important how the game is in the middle of it. So far, what I see, I like it quite a bit. So yeah, good vibes over here. Thank you for watching. Should you have any questions, ask them in the comments below, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and yeah, thank you very much again. See you next time. Bye bye.